يوم ذي الهجرة والتروية والعرفات والأضحى والقربان. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ولا نظير له ولا مثيل له، شهادة كشهادة الصائمين في هذه اليوم الإحسان. ونشهد أن سيدنا وسندنا مولانا محمدا عبده وحبيبه ورسوله، أرسله الله تعالى رحمة للعالمين، شهادة كشهادة المرسلين على مولى رسول الله ملك الملك، صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى وأصحابه وأزواجه ذريته الكرام وأتباعه وخلفاء الراشدين والمرشدين المهديين من بعده ووزرائه الكاملين في عهده، خصوصا من أئمة خلفاء رسول الله على تركه أمرائه المؤمنين حضرة أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي ذوي القدر الجليل، والباقية الصحابة والتابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين. أيها المؤمنون الحاضرون، اتقوا الله تعالى وأطيعوه، إن الله مع الذين اتقوا والذين هم محسنون. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب المنزل على نبي المرسل: وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين. صدق الله العظيم. أيها المؤمنون الحاضرون، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. See Khutba on Arafat today. Day is tomorrow. And Shaykh Abdul Haqq our best in Sayyidina Mawlana Yawm Ashri al-Hijjah, the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, after Yawm al-Zaman, most exalted days and times. ويفتح فيها باب كرة ومعرفات وغفران. God opened the door of God will show you mercy and forgiveness. يوم وقوف في العرفات بين يدي الملك المنان. And standing on Arafat is to stand between the hands of the benevolent Lord. وينادي الحجاج لبيك اللهم لبيك، لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك، إن الحمد والنعمة لك لا شريك لك. Saying today, may Allah bless the Hajis who left their homes to went to the Holy Land. Hajj, accept their Hajj as blessings on behalf of them also. What to say? What to say? Shaykh Nazim al-Rashi to say to study history after the spiritual readings. Read history. Read history. Come to read history, however, some of you may be difficult situation. Difficult situation. We ask to build our faith on Haqq, on reality. Reality is difficult to come by through the reports of people. It's difficult. the history is cloudy. Depending on who's telling the history, happened like this, or happened like this, happened like this. The other one said it happened like that. Turns out this was fighting with that. And everything this one said, no, that's no good. Everything that one said, no, that one's no good. Fighting. That's difficult to know. I like to read Sheikh Muhyiddin. Sheikh Shem said, take his help. He and Shaykh Abdul Haqq, give us something. Those two awliya are delegated to help people. Dealings. He said, don't bother the other. Never bother them anyway. He was saying, everything I spoke about or wrote about in this outer world, whatever I spoke about it, I was only alluding or pointing. Abu Ghali used to like the word ishara, pointing to, alluding to, trying to show for the inner world. And he said, even for that, I kept quiet for years because people are not going to understand. And when there's a religious authority in power, it's dangerous to open your mouth for anything. When Galileo began to speak about the earth being round, circling the sun, they wanted to execute. For instance, so many awliya, when they tried to say something, the truth they discovered through their meditations, they got into big problems. People that don't understand. Usually, those who come into authority, a certain condition comes on them. Well, they come into authority because they possess that condition. I don't know which it is. It's very difficult for them to be flexible or to be to have a balanced view of spirituality. And they like those who's given power in this life, likes to exercise their power. First for taxing, then for raising armies, then for conquest, then for being into prison or killing anyone who speaks against them. Every group is happened that way in Islamic history, happened that way in the history of every nation. Before they start laughing at Muslims, look at your own history. All of them behaving. And awliya, who had a spiritual knowledge, they learned to keep quiet. But if a person is going to look for haqq, truth, reality, they have to look inside, try to find it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created human beings. Inni ja'ilun khala'iqa fil ard. I did, or I intended to do, or I'm going to do. I did, says Allah. A deputy for myself on earth. Human beings. Say that Adam, the first one, his descendants, his all. He said, I created Adam on my suwar, my form. What it means to be created on the form. It's a big person in the sky someplace sitting there. Oh, I was sitting with Sheikh Nazim one day. One Olive came in, sat down, was massaging his foot, and he sat between me and his foot. Sat on his foot. And Allah was trying to explain to him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he doesn't need a throne to sit on. The arsh, the kursi, doesn't need a throne. That Allah was really perplexed by that. Which throne can hold it? If Allah is sitting on a throne literally, then you have two things. Allah is not like anything. Allah and the throne coexisting in the same. How anything can coexist with Allah? Well, not like anything. Try to explain to that person an hour in Arabic. He was Allah. By example, difficult if you build your knowledge through zahiri, external ideas in the mind. It's difficult to accept heavenly realities that don't go along with what your mind produced. I used to say mind productions, mind productions. It's difficult. And Awliya were trying to encourage their followers to go deep into themselves, to become Rabbaniyin, Rabbaniyun, Rabbani, to be able to take lights from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in their selves. I created you on my form. I breathed into Adam from my soul. What does it mean? What does it mean? It's a knowledge from tasting, from experience. Only they try to explain what they experienced, it's difficult to understand if we didn't taste it. And so I say Shaykh Nazim, he had tried, and Shaykh Hashem, and Grand Shaykh, they tried to encourage their followers to be enthusiastic to reach that kind of knowledge, to try to get it. Kunu Rabbaniyin, says the Quran. No prophet or anyone who was given a book by Allah, or any person who was given hikmah, wisdom, ever called people to be his worshippers, but was calling them to be Rabbaniyun. What does it mean? From the story we said it many times, Shaykh Abdul Haqq, God bless him, his maqam in Fez, Morocco. He had a Marine who was a big alim scholar. Sayyid Abdul Haqq, he was with me. He read Quran, but he wasn't supposed to read and study books. Yet every time that Alamati was his name, would come to him with questions that the ulama were disputing over, Shaykh Abdul Haqq was giving the answers. From where? I was amazed. He asked him one time, what is Rabbani or Kunu Rabbani or Kunu Rabbani? Be Rabbani. What's that Rabbani? If you read translations of Quran, it says be lordly, be godly. Okay. He said it's a word from the language of Adam and Eve, language of angels. No one speaks that now. God says mankind was all of one language at one time. It's in history, the Tower of Babel. People used to speak the same language. Then, on account of their bad behaviors, Allah sent something on them, and people began to speak in different tongues. No one could understand the other. It's that way up to today. How many different languages? But that Rabbani, is from the language of Adam and Eve, the original language. It means the one who takes lights, knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without barrier of the brain, without studying. Allah gives it, as he gave to Sayyidina Khidr, as Prophet said, everything I took from wisdom and knowledge, I poured sabah into the heart of Allah. So I didn't teach him, I gave it, put it, transmitted it for him, injected it, poured it. I poured it into the heart of Allah. It's the target for people to be Rabbani. One who takes nice meanings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It needs a training. I need it also. The speaker needs it more than anyone else. It takes a training to be able to receive those lights. Only that they were doing all kinds of spiritual exercises, going into seclusions. Grand Shaykh spent years in seclusion, seeing anyone, not speaking to anyone. Training till the heart to able to carry those lights. And really, the religion, the spirit of the religion is passed on through Rabbani. Those who took realities from the real. Even translated the real. The spirit of Islam is living through that, not through people's productions of their mind, which changes from time to time and from dynasty to dynasty. So many hadiths. How do you know the real ones? Shaykh Nassim said, believe in all of them for the sake of Prophet. Allah will raise you to a level, you'll see the real one shining off the page. What's the real? It means be Rabbani till that light reaches you. Till that light reaches, then you can know. By reading, you can't know. Try. I like to read. One likes to read. Until you taste it, until we taste it, we can't know for sure. And those who taste, mostly they're keeping quiet because people won't understand. This is the month of Hajj. These are the days, the culmination of the Hajj, the day of preparation, the day of standing on Arafah. If we can't be on Arafah tomorrow, inshallah, then we have to find that Arafah through our hearts. Standing there. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك الحمد make us think about it. Grant us some openings to our hearts. It's 24 hours coming up now. Last part of Friday after Asr before Maghrib, and then the day of Arafat, 4 hours. If you can fast, try to fast. 10 inshallah. And we'll have our program here. You can come a few minutes before Maghrib and read and Sheikh's dua before sun goes down. It's the time to go deeper, not only for external things. See, Arafat and Eid, we get concerned with the externals, what I'm going to wear, what dress, to make everything. Try to go deeper, try to find the Torah, by Torah. The house of the believer is the heart of the believer is the house of Allah. Where is that? Where is that? Let's enter. Present ourselves there. Stand on Mount Arafat to our heart. Allah created us on His form. His form, His attributes, His sifat. Asma wa Sifat. Hayyun Alim, or even call it alive, knowing we're alive. What's the default position for it? If you go to meditate, I am. Take everything else away, all doctrine, all everything. I am sitting here. I am. More than that, we don't know. I am. You can add this and that and this and that. I wish to do. I have power to carry out my wishes to a limited extent. I like hearing and seeing and speaking and thinking and walking and touching and grabbing, shouting, thinking. Oh, create us to be your deputies. To be your deputy. Make us to know which service we're created for that. We recite that every Friday, as Mulana used to do. We didn't create humans and jinns except for our service. Oh my Lord, which service specifically I was created for that? You know, that's a big thing. When Yusuf was giving the bird, they was praying thanks for that. Established me kingdom, my kingdom. He said, and you taught me the wisdom why everything happened to me, why you created me, who I am. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's not something just to recite and not think about. It's oceans and oceans and oceans. And all it grants us to think about it, especially during these 24 hours. Get ready for Eid Mubarak, inshallah, Sunday. May Allah grant us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mubarak. Kalam Allah ma'alika azizana. Como call Allah tabarak wa ta'ala fi al-kalam. ويقول يا القرآن واستمعوا القرآن. That's it. It's the hardest part for me to pick up this paper, let go both hands from the railing. So I can stand on this stair not to fall down. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن. ربي خلق هيتني فاغفر السنة لأنت ولي الآخرة مسلمة. Join me with your Salihin. For what? Have a party? Drinking tea for what? Service for which they were created. Join me with your ones who knew for which purpose they were created. Carry on in their holy company. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah, hamdan kathira, salatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin. Sayyidina wa nabiyyina Mawlana Muhammad, Sayyidina wa alihi wa ala tub alayna ya Mawlana. إنك على كل شيء قدير. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد. سيدنا ولي وأفكار الأرض والأجل مولانا والمولى والأمين المختار بين سيدنا القاسم. يا أيها المشتاقون من الجمال المترجون الشفاعة صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. وبارك على سيدنا كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا في العالمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بارك فيما هديت. آمين. عافنا فيما عافيت. آمين. وتولنا فيما توليت. وبارك لنا فيما أعطينا. وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت. آمين. فإنك تقضي ولا عليك. آمين. وله الإحسان والدين. آمين. تبارك ربنا الحمد لله قضيت. نستغفر الله ونتوب إليك. صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم اكشف عنا من النار والبلاء والشرك واسقنا غيث الصفراء ولا تجعلنا من الخارجين يا برحمتك. اللهم اجعلنا بعد قريبا وفاتح مبينا وخير فاتح وكفي ذلك قوما اذا ظلموا. الحمد لله رب العالمين. ربي جعل من لدنك وليا جعل من لدنك سلطانا وكان حقا نصر المؤمنين. اللهم افتح ابواب السداد بيد مدد ان الله حكيم. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات. امين. والمسلمين والمسلمات. امين. امين برحمتك يا ارحم واغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم منصور. اللهم افتح لنا أبواب السلام. يا الله يا ظهر الله يا الله إن الله يا قربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون وذكر الله أكبر والله أكبر.